President-elect Donald Trump, who announced this morning that he will soon formally relinquish control of his business empire, albeit to his children. Now, Mr. Trump tweeted this morning that he will be holding a major press conference on December 15th to announce that he will be leaving his business in order to, and I quote, fully focus on running the country. He went on to write that it is, quote, visually important as president to in no way have a conflict of interest with my various businesses, end quote. Though this does come as the president-elect continues to fill his cabinet. The latest announcements came this morning when Mr. Trump officially announced that he intends to nominate billionaire investor Wilbur Ross for the position of Commerce Secretary. The transition team also announced that Mr. Trump has tapped campaign finance chair and former Goldman Sachs executive Steve Mnuchin for the role of Treasury Secretary. Mr. Mnuchin addressed the media, in fact, earlier at Trump Tower.
First priority is going to be the tax plan, and the tax plan has both the corporate aspects to it, lowering corporate taxes so we make U.S. companies the most competitive in the world, making sure we repatriate trillions of dollars back to the United States, and the personal income taxes, where we're going to have the most significant middle-income tax cut since Reagan. We're going to incorporate the child care program. So this is going to be a tremendous boon to the economy.
To discuss it all, Tara Palmeri, formerly of Politico Europe, who's just been tapped to be Politico's White House reporter, joins me now to discuss all things. First of all,
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk about Steven Mnuchin there, who's now poised to become the next Treasury Secretary and who seems to be the essence of that which Donald Trump actually ran against for months, as we just saw. What to make, not just of his then appointment, but of how it will play with Donald Trump's supporters?
Well, the timing of the announcement is kind of ideal because we just saw today that he announced he saved these jobs in Indianapolis, the carrier deal. He's, has a win with the white working class that he has fought so hard for. So it's sort of like here's a double whammy. Here, I've saved these jobs. I promised that I would keep them from leaving. And then now here's this well-bred child of a multi-millionaire, billionaire, Harvard, Yale, new Treasury Secretary from Wall Street. But the truth is that most of our Treasury Secretaries are from Wall Street. Like, that's just how it's been. Even, Jack Lew, you're seeing Paulson. It's been for the past 3 decades, we've had Treasury Secretaries that come from Wall Street. So there must be something to be said about that as well.
Now, you mentioned the carrier deal. It will keep nearly 1,000 jobs here in the United States. Right. However, hundreds of jobs will still be lost in the deal. But now the questions are already being asked in terms of economic policy.
Right.
Is this just what we're going to see? Is every owner of every American company going to essentially threaten to take jobs out of the country and look for a similar deal from President Trump?
Right. Well, he has promised that he's going to deregulate, and we're going to see a lot of that, and we're going to see ways of creating incentives for businesses to stay. I mean, it wasn't that big of a coup, but he's making it into something bigger. I think it's kind of interesting that he, targeted this company, bullied them throughout his campaign, bullied them on Twitter. And I almost think, are we going to be seeing Donald Trump using this bullying tactic, but as a businessman to get what he wants so that he can keep saying, like, I'm protecting the little man, I'm making these big businesses stay. It was actually pretty smart, though, to go after them as well because they have such a big military deal right now with the U.S. government. They make billions of dollars in contracts with the U.S. government. So essentially, if they were telling, Donald Trump, you know what, we're going to go to Mexico, they risk losing a deal with the U.S. government. So it works out in some ways. He was strategic in choosing that, but I don't know. It would be a PR disaster if they left anyway. Think about it.
Well, and so we're also seeing, though, a company based in Indiana.
Right.
We have been discussing the real role, perhaps outsized, of Vice President-elect Mike Pence in a Trump administration. Is it a coincidence that Indiana Governor Mike Pence is seeing a company in his home state as either the object of Donald Trump's bullying or as somebody who's cut the first of many deals to come?
I think you're right. I mean, all politics is local, right? And so it's not surprising that you would see Pence go back to a place where he knew he could get a win as well. He has relationships there. He's not going into a new he probably knows carrier people very well, and he probably knew he could strike that deal. So it makes sense, and it makes him the hometown hero, and it helps his own record. I think we will be seeing a lot more of this, though, Trump bullying, getting involved. He's almost micromanaging a country, if you think about it, to choose this little, to choose this company and to go after them that way. But I also thought it was kind of interesting that, think about this, if Bernie Sanders did that, if Obama even did that, they'd be like crying socialism. That's crazy. But when Donald Trump uses his leverage and his contracts, military contracts, to keep a company to stay and keep their employees in the country, then he's seen as a savvy businessman. So it's kind of a double standard. And I think we're going to see, I guess the CEO of the U.S. is the new label for President-elect Trump.
Well, context is a funny thing that way, and it also gets me to the tweets we saw from him this morning, promising this major announcement on December 15th that he will be stepping away from his business. He has previously said that would actually mean he'd be giving his business to his children, which would not constitute in any way a blind trust. Right. That will obviously not mean that he is liquidating his company or selling it off as we have seen in administrations past. Is then what it is that he's promising here? Is it? And he even spoke to the fact that he was doing this for optics' sake.
Right.
Are these optics enough?
It's not. I think that any person can see that he's so close to his children. I mean, they're part of the transition team. So give them the business is just really to extend your arm a little bit farther and give it, to your family. It's not a blind trust, like you said. Also, so many of his assets, like, is he really going to liquidate them? Is he going to sell golf courses? Is he going to sell his companies off? No. So, I mean, every move he makes, we're going to be watching and seeing how he makes money off of it. Even just the fact that the Trump brand has grown so much. Every deal he makes with a foreign country, this is going to be the ongoing story throughout his entire administration. Even if the company and all of his assets are sitting with the kids, it's still his.
Lots of questions still to be answered. You've got a heart out. I'll let you go on one condition, that this is the first of many appearances.
Yes, thank you very much.
Tara Palmeri, again, congratulations on the new appointment.
Thank you.